Hey boys and girls, how are you today? I hope that you're doing awesome and that your Tuesday has been going well. Time for another story time with Mr. Ethan. So grab your story caps, put them on for me, and let's begin reading our book. Today, the title of our book is called The 1 O'Clock Miracle. The 1 O'Clock Miracle. Let's begin reading, shall we? Long, long ago, there lived an important man who worked for the king. He was sad and so worried. His son was very ill, so ill he was going to die, and no one could help him. Here's a picture of the man and his son, who's very sick, very ill. But then, he heard that a man named Jesus was doing the most amazing, wonderful things. He heard that Jesus was making ill people well again. He heard that Jesus was doing things only God can do. So the man decided to ask Jesus for help. Here's Jesus healing all kinds of people. People who can't walk, people who can't see, people who have a really high fever. The man and his son lived in a town called Capernaum, which was by the sea, by the ocean. But Jesus was staying in Cana, more than 20 miles away, in a different town. It was a very long walk and uphill all the way. Right here is the Sea of Galilee, where the man lived next to. But the man had decided that he must see Jesus. So he said goodbye to his son and his family, and he set off to see Jesus. Here's the man going to find Jesus. Up the hill, he walked and sometimes ran because he wanted so badly to see Jesus. The sun went down, the night was dark, and the stars were bright, but the man didn't stop. Here's the whole picture. Huffing and puffing, he walked and sometimes ran, hurrying to see Jesus. Here's him huffing and puffing. I bet he was tired. What do you think? The sun came up, the morning arrived, but there was still a long, long way to go. Puffing and panting, the man walked and sometimes ran because he needed to see Jesus. Here's him going in the daytime, in the nighttime, in the rain time. At last, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the man reached Cana, the town where Jesus was. Here's a picture of Cana, the town where Jesus was. He had walked and sometimes ran, and now at last he could see Jesus. "Please, sir," the man said to Jesus, "my son is dying. Please come home with me. Please make him better." The man knew that if Jesus came with him and touched his son, the boy would be well again. Here's the man talking to Jesus. Jesus just said, "Go." There's Jesus talking to the man, telling him to go. What? Go home without Jesus? After all that walking and even running to go get Jesus to come? But Jesus hadn't finished talking yet. Jesus continued and said, "Go." Then he added, "Your son, he's going to live." The man believed Jesus. There's Jesus waving goodbye to the man who's on his way home. Jesus wasn't going to go to the man's house. He wasn't going to touch the boy to make him well. But the man still trusted that what Jesus said was true. Down the hill he walked and believed and sometimes ran because he believed Jesus. He's thinking, your son will live. Look how cool that is. The sun went down, the night was dark, and the moon shone brightly, and the man felt so tired. Whew. But on he walked and sometimes ran because he trusted Jesus. The sun came up, the new morning arrived, and still he walked, cracking his back a little bit in this picture. Those legs and back ached, and his legs were very tired. Your son will live. Look at the man running. He walked and sometimes ran because he was sure Jesus would make his son well. Then, very far in the distance, if you look in the distance, he saw some men. They came closer and closer. They were his own servants. They must have news, he thought. But what would it be? Sir, they said, it's your son. He's alive! He's well again! The man was bursting for joy. Wait, when did that happen? When did he get better? Yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Here's the servants telling the man the good news that his son is healed. 1 o'clock! 1 o'clock! The man replied. Then the man remembered. It was 1 o'clock when he saw Jesus. It was 1 o'clock when Jesus said his son would live. And it was 1 o'clock when his son got better. Jesus didn't need to go and see the boy. He didn't need to walk. And he didn't have to run. Jesus simply spoke. Here's the word spoke with some cool colors behind it. Just like that, the boy was better. Wow! Only Jesus could do that. And do you know why? Because Jesus is God. Happy and smiling, the man walked home, and sometimes he ran to see his son again. Then he told his son and his family about Jesus and how Jesus could do things only God can do. And they all believed in Jesus, that he is God too. Your son's gonna live, the man is thinking. And look, there's the little boy, all healed. And now that the man's son was well, what could he do? He could smile. He could laugh. He could walk and he could run, all because of Jesus. Boys and girls, this book reminds us that Jesus is God. And Jesus came not only to help us to be healed from the things that are physically making us sick, like this man's son was sick. Jesus came ultimately to make sure that our sin could be healed. We've all disobeyed him and broken our relationship with him. But Jesus died on the cross and came back to life so that if we ask him to forgive us of our disobedience, we can be forgiven. We can have the miracle of being forgiven of our sin anytime when we trust in Jesus. I hope that you trust in Jesus, boys and girls. Have a good afternoon.